The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor with a crack like gunfire, but no one at the party noticed amid the laughter and pulsing bass. I stood frozen in the dim corner of the rooftop lounge, Sarah's breath hot against my ear. Her words slicing through me like a razor dragged slow across skin. "I'm stealing your girlfriend for revenge," she hissed, her voice a venomous purr laced with triumph. "You took my Reddit stories, Alex. Now I'm taking what's yours." My heart slammed against my ribs, a wild animal trapped in a cage too small. Fury boiled up first, raw, blinding, the kind that makes your vision tunnel and your fists clench until nails bite into palms. How dare she? But underneath, humiliation slithered in, cold and slick, because I knew exactly what she meant. Those stories weren't just words on a screen. They were pieces of her soul, raw confessions she'd poured out anonymously on Reddit under a throwaway account. I'd found them one drunken night, scrolling through subreddits like r/off-my-chest and r/true-off-my-chest, and in a haze of desperation for content, my own writing career stalled, rejections piling up like unpaid bills. I'd copied them, tweaked a few details, posted them as my own on my growing profile. The upvotes flooded in, comments praising my vulnerability. I even turned a couple into short stories for a lit mag, cashing the meager check with a guilty thrill. Sarah had no idea at first, until she did. I pulled back, staring into her eyes, those sharp green orbs that once sparkled with friendship, now glinting with cold resolve. She was Emily's best friend since college, the one who'd introduced us 3 years ago at a dive bar poetry slam. Sarah, with her wild auburn curls and that laugh that could disarm a room. Now, she looked like a predator, lips curled in a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You think I wouldn't notice?" she continued, her voice low, intimate, like we were sharing a secret instead of trading blows. "Those were my traumas, Alex. My abusive ex, my miscarriage, my fucking breakdowns. You stole them, polished them up, and paraded them as your genius. And now, Emily's mine." The rooftop air was thick with a scent of rain-slicked city streets below, mixed with a sharp tang of spilled alcohol and expensive perfumes. Twinkling lights from skyscrapers blurred in my periphery as denial crashed over me. Well, Emily loved me. We'd built a life. Our cozy apartment in Brooklyn, lazy Sundays with coffee and crosswords, whispered plans for a future. But lately, God, the signs were there, weren't they? Emily coming home late from girls' nights with Sarah, her phone buzzing at odd hours, that distant look in her eyes when I'd ask about her day. I'd chalked it up to work stress. She was climbing the ladder at her marketing firm, but now it all twisted into something sinister. I grabbed Sarah's arm, my fingers digging in harder than I intended. She didn't flinch. If anything, her smile widened. "Let go," she said evenly, her tone laced with mock concern. "You wouldn't want to cause a scene. Emily's right over there, chatting with her new favorite person." I followed her gaze across the crowded terrace. Emily stood by the bar, her blonde hair catching the string lights like a halo, laughing at something the bartender said. But Sarah was right. She'd been drifting toward her more and more. Sleepovers that turned into weekends, inside jokes I wasn't part of, touches that lingered a second too long. Was it romantic? Emily had always been straight, or so I thought. Sarah was bi, unapologetic about it, and she'd never hidden her resentment toward me after discovering the theft. It started with subtle digs, a comment here about originality in writing, a pointed look when I'd share a new piece. I'd brushed it off, buried the guilt under excuses. It was just inspiration. Everyone borrows. But deep down, I knew it was theft, a violation that left her exposed, her pain commodified for my gain. Heartbreak clawed at my chest now, a dull ache sharpening into resentment. How could Emily do this? And Sarah? Obsession flickered in her eyes, a dark mirror to my own growing fixation. I released her arm, stepping back as if burned. "You're delusional," I muttered, but my voice cracked, betraying me. "Emily would never." "Oh, she already has," Sarah interrupted, her words a dagger twist. She leaned in again, her perfume, jasmine and something sharper like betrayal, overwhelming. Last week at my place. She kissed me first. Said she felt alive for the first time in months. You know why? 'Cause you're a leech, Alex. Sucking the life out of everyone around you. The world tilted. I stumbled toward the edge of the roof, gripping the railing as the city noise roared up. Honks, distant sirens, the hum of a million lives untouched by this nightmare. Inside, doubt warred with fury. Was this real, or Sarah's twisted game? I'd seen the texts, innocent enough, but now they replayed in my mind like evidence in a trial. Miss you already. From Sarah to Emily, hearts emoji. My stomach churned, bile rising. Guilt gnawed at the edges too. I had started this chain. By stealing her stories, I'd humiliated her, turned her private hell into public fodder. Comments on my posts had dissected her pain, her real pain, as if it were fiction. No wonder resentment had festered into this cold, calculated strike. I watched as Sarah sauntered back to Emily, slipping an arm around her waist with casual possession. Emily leaned into it, her smile genuine, oblivious to my gaze. Or was she? Paranoia set in, a slow poison. That night, as the party wound down, I feigned a headache, pulling Emily away early. In the cab home, rain streaking the windows like tears, I studied her profile, the soft curve of her cheek, the way she bit her lip when lost in thought. Everything okay with Sarah? I asked, forcing casualness. She turned, eyes wide with innocence. Yeah, why? She's been a rock lately. Work's been brutal, you know. I nodded, swallowing the accusation bubbling up. But inside, fantasies of justice swirled, confronting Sarah publicly, exposing her manipulation. No, that was too crude. Revenge needed to be surgical, a mirror to her own. I'd make her feel the same violation, strip away something she cherished. But doubt crept in. What if Emily was complicit? What if my theft had poisoned our relationship from the start? Back in our apartment, the air felt stale, heavy with unspoken words. Emily showered first, humming a tune I didn't recognize. Sarah's favorite band? I paced the living room, the hardwood creaking under my feet, shadows from the street lamp dancing like ghosts on the walls. My laptop sat on the coffee table, a silent accomplice. I opened it, scrolling through my old Reddit posts, the ones built on Sarah's bones. Thousands of upvotes, but now they mocked me. Delete them. Too late. The damage was done. As Emily emerged, towel-wrapped and steam-scented, I pulled her into a kiss, desperate to reclaim what was slipping away. She responded, but there was a hesitation, a fractional delay that screamed volumes. That night, sleep evaded me, my mind a whirlwind of planning. I'd watch, wait, gather proof. Subtle hints. Sarah's smug glances at brunch the next day. Emily's lingering hugs. Tension built like a storm gathering, quiet at first, but inevitable. Days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. At work, my freelance gig ghostwriting for a tech blog, I stared at screens, words blurring as obsession took root. Inner monologues looped. She's mine. No, she was never yours. You stole your way into this life. Moral conflict gnawed. I deserved this pain, didn't I? But resentment overpowered guilt. Sarah wasn't just stealing Emily. She was dismantling me, piece by piece. One evening, alone in the apartment while Emily ran errands, I rifled through her things, a violation that mirrored my original sin. In her nightstand, a journal. Heart-pounding, I flipped through pages. Entries about doubt in our relationship. Excitement over Sarah's understanding. She gets me in ways Alex never could. Humiliation burned, fueling the fire. But then a line that chilled me. Sarah's plan is working. He suspects nothing. Plan. My blood ran cold. This wasn't spontaneous. It was orchestrated. Fear mingled with resolve. I'd turn the tables. But how? Expose Sarah's own secrets. She had plenty, whispers of a shady past, a failed engagement, addictions glossed over in her stories. The ones I'd stolen. As the week dragged on, suspense thickened. Sarah texted me directly once. How's it feel, thief? I didn't reply, but my fingers itched to smash the phone. Instead, I plotted in silence, moments of quiet calculation amid the chaos. At a coffee shop meetup, our group hang. Dialogue crackled with undercurrents. "Alex, your latest story was inspired," Sarah said, her tone dripping sarcasm. Emily laughed, oblivious. "Yeah, babe, you're on fire." I forced a smile, suppressed rage simmering. "Thanks. Inspiration comes from everywhere." The words hung a subtle jab. Sarah's eyes narrowed, a flicker of uncertainty. But let her wonder. By the end of the first half of this nightmare, I'd transformed. No longer just heartbroken, but forged in cold resolve. Revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about reclamation. But as I lay awake, Emily's breathing steady beside me, doubt whispered, "What if this consumes you? What if you're the villain?" The mirror in our bathroom fogged from the shower's steam, but I wiped it clear, staring at my reflection. A man hollowed out, eyes shadowed by sleepless nights. It had been 2 weeks since Sarah's whisper, and the slow burn had ignited into an inferno. Heartbreak had evolved into obsession, every waking moment devoted to unraveling her plan. I'd hacked her old Reddit account, easy enough with remembered details from our friendship, and found deleted drafts, more vulnerabilities she'd hidden. A history of manipulation, toxic relationships she'd orchestrated for her own catharsis. Guilt twisted in my gut. I was stooping to her level, but resentment justified it. She started this war. Emily noticed my distance, her touches tentative now, like handling fragile glass. "Alex, talk to me," she pleaded one morning over breakfast, the kitchen smelling of burnt toast and fresh coffee. Sunlight slanted through the blinds, casting bars across the table, fitting as I felt imprisoned. "I'm fine," I lied, stirring my mug endlessly. Inner conflict raged. Tell her everything. Risk her choosing Sarah. Well, better to play the long game. Just work stress. She reached for my hand, her fingers warm, but I pulled away under pretense of grabbing the milk. Hurt flashed in her eyes, and for a moment moral doubt surged. Was I pushing her further into Sarah's arms? But then I remembered the journal entry, the complicity. This was their game, I'd make it mine. That afternoon I tailed them, subtle, from a distance. They met at a park bench in Prospect Park, leaves crunching underfoot in the crisp fall air, the scent of damp earth and distant hot dog vendors thick. Sarah handed Emily a gift. A necklace, silver chain glinting. Emily's laugh carried on the wind. Genuine joy that stabbed me. They hugged, Sarah's hand lingering on Emily's back. Jealousy roared, but I noted details. Sarah's car parked nearby, license plate memorized for later digging. Back home I dove deeper. Using a burner account, I messaged mutual friends, fishing for dirt. "Heard Sarah's been through some stuff. Anything I should know?" One replied, "Yeah, she had a meltdown last year, accused her ex of plagiarism too. Turned out she was projecting." Projection. My pulse quickened. Perhaps her revenge wasn't just about the stories. Maybe deeper wounds, a pattern of lashing out. Suspense built in quiet moments, like when Emily's phone lit up at dinner, Sarah's name flashing. "Just checking in," Emily said, typing back with a smile that didn't reach me. Dialogue grew laced with tension. "You seem off," she probed again that night, curled on the couch, the TV droning a forgotten show. Rain pattered against the windows, a rhythmic underscore to my paranoia. "Off how?" I countered, voice even, but inside fantasies spun. Confronting Sarah alone, forcing a confession. "Like you're hiding something." Irony bit deep, she was the one hiding. I leaned in, testing waters. "What if I said Sarah's not who you think?" She stiffened, eyes narrowing. "What does that mean?" "Nothing," I backpedaled, planting the seed. Let doubt fester in her too. As days passed, my planning intensified. I'd expose Sarah's past publicly. Anonymous tips to her workplace, a blog post linking her to the stolen stories, twisting the narrative so she looked like the thief. Morally gray. Absolutely. But justification burned bright. She'd humiliated me, stolen my love. Obsession blurred lines. Sleep brought nightmares of them together, laughter mocking me. One evening the pivot came. Emily announced a weekend getaway with Sarah, to her family's cabin upstate. "Girls' trip," she said breezily, packing a bag in our bedroom. The zippers rasped like nails on chalkboard. Panic surged, but I masked it. "Sounds fun. Say hi to Sarah." She paused, bag half-zipped. "You okay with that?" "Why wouldn't I be?" My smile was a lie, suppressed rage boiling. As she left, kissing my cheek, lips cool, detached, I whispered inwardly, "This ends soon." Alone, the apartment echoed with silence, broken only by the fridge's hum and distant traffic. I executed phase 1. Hacking deeper into Sarah's digital life. Old emails, forgotten passwords guessed from her stories. Found proof messages to Emily. "He's crumbling. Just like I planned. Revenge is sweet." Heartbreak peaked, but resolve hardened. She wasn't just stealing, she was destroying. I drove upstate that night, headlights cutting through fog-shrouded roads, the air thick with pine and impending storm. Arrived at the cabin pre-dawn, parking hidden. Through binoculars I watched. Lights on, shadows moving. Laughter filtered out, then softer sounds, intimate. Fury blinded me. I nearly stormed in. But no, pacing demanded patience. Dawn broke, gray and misty. They emerged for a walk, hand in hand. I followed unseen, branches snapping underfoot, heart thundering. Inner thoughts clashed. End this now, or wait for the kill shot. Back at the cabin, I slipped in while they hiked. Door unlocked, trusting fools. Planted a camera, tiny and wireless, in the living room. Violation. But necessary. Returning home, I monitored the feed. That night, dialogue crackled through my laptop speakers. "He suspects," Emily said, voice muffled. Sarah laughed. "Good. Let him stew. After what he did, stealing my stories, my pain. He deserves worse. But is this right? I love him, or did." Twist in my gut, Emily's doubt. Moral conflict mirrored mine. Then Sarah. "You deserve better. I love you, Em." Kiss captured on video. Proof. But as I watched, obsession cracked. Was this justice, or descent into madness? Fear whispered, "You've become the monster." The climax built over the next days. Emily returned, acting normal, but tension crackled. I confronted her subtly. Saw Sarah's post online, old drama surfacing. Her face paled. "What drama?" "Plagiarism accusations. From her ex." Seeds sprouted. That night, argument erupted. "Are you cheating?" I demanded, voice raw. She denied, but tears betrayed. "It's complicated." Rage unleashed. With Sarah. Her revenge for stories I borrowed. Admission tumbled out. "She told me everything. How you stole her life." I was angry, went along at first. But then, feelings grew. Heart shattered anew, but plan activated. I anonymously leaked the video snippet online. Blurred faces, but identifiable to those who knew. Titled, "Revenge Gone Wrong. Stolen Stories and Stolen Hearts." It went viral on Reddit, of course. Irony poetic. Sarah called, furious. "You bastard. This is low, even for you." "Eye for an eye," I replied coldly. But the twist came swift. Emily at the door, eyes red. "It was a setup, Alex. Sarah's idea to make you confess publicly. The stories. She forgave you months ago. This was to expose your obsession, your willingness to destroy." Denial hit. "No. She recorded our fights, your stalking. It's over. We're done." As she left, bags in hand, realization crashed. I'd been played. My revenge backfired, leaving me alone, humiliated. Poetic justice. My own moral grayness consumed me. In the empty apartment, rain lashing windows, I sat in darkness. Resentment faded to guilt, obsession to regret. The cycle complete, but at what cost?